Hello, hello. We are live here, BRUNO GAMA Brazilian Health Nuts, and we are back. Now, I just had some issues here before. Let's see if that actually is gonna happen here. So, for people who have no idea what I'm talking about, it doesn't really matter, right? So, we are here because we have another special guest to come here to the show, to the Burn Fat Forever show, to talk about what, guys? How to burn fat and keep it off for the rest of your life, how to just live the healthiest life that you possibly can live, right? No matter what's your size, no matter the way you look, it doesn't really matter. It's all about being your best. So I'm excited because now, guys, for people who are here with me live right now, as we are live here on the Facebook page, you can actually ask me any questions, or me or Michelle here, our guest, and we're going to be making sure to try our best to answer you here on the live. For people who are just listening to the replay on iTunes or YouTube, you guys can always go to the page and ask questions. Send me an email, go to Michelle's website, and whatever you have a question, just go there and do that. Okay? So today here, guys, it's exciting because we're going to be talking about sugar, gluten, dairy, but most importantly, how to improve your health, how to start your journey, what to do. And that's why I'm excited to bring Michelle DeBerge here to the show to share with us a little bit about her own journey, which is amazing, amazing. So, Michelle, are you here with us?
I can hear you. Hello. How are you?
All right. I'm great. Thank you so much for being here, Michelle, with us. I super appreciate your time. So let's start it just by giving a little bit about your background, really. How did you get into this whole thing here, Michelle? I was reading your bio early on before, and you had no intention really to create this whole movement that you have created, right?
No, gluten, dairy, sugar-free lifestyle. We have a huge community that's been created in 2.5 years by accident. I didn't intend to do this whatsoever, but I had gotten super sick. I was over 500 pounds, and my organs were in failure. And so I had to detox my organs, and in the process become gluten, dairy, sugar-free. Now, I'm a foodie and a chef, and so I just was about to publish 2 cookbooks and realized I couldn't because I don't eat that way anymore and I walk my talk. So I started rewriting my recipes and researching alternative ways to get healthy. And I was doing it as a hobby. Gluten, dairy, sugar-free lifestyle was never supposed to go live. And my tech guy made it go live one day and threw me in front of a microphone 2 years ago. And now we have over 400,000 people in our community. And it's amazing.
Wow. Wow. That's so nice. That's so amazing to be able to first always help yourself, right? Take care of yourself first, and then to inspire other people to do the same, really to improve their own lives. That's what we are about here. Not just about weight loss. I really like to talk about this topic, but it's really about living your best, right? So I'm curious here, Michelle, how did you go? Okay, so you said here you're like over 500 pounds, right? How did you wake up one day and you decided to start this journey? There was just like something like a call. You just like, okay, it's time to take care of myself. How did this happen?
Nope. I didn't do it. I wasn't one of those people. I didn't care that I was heavy because I was spiritually and happy. My successful life coach, motivational speaker. It's because I got sick. And when my doctor said, if you don't give up gluten, dairy, sugar-free, and you don't want to listen to me, then just die. You're just going to die. It was that serious. And so I had to, and I argued with him about every type of cheese. What about blue cheese? Come on, let me have this cheese. I didn't want to do it, but I did. And I did it because I wanted to live. But I didn't expect to lose weight. One day I was walking across my living room to go to the kitchen to get some water, and my pants fell off. And I thought, holy crap.
That's cool.
And then it just like started coming off. Now I've lost over 200, but now 2 years later, it's going slower. My hormones have changed. It is now I am consciously wanting to lose weight, but it's about being healthy. And when I started gluten, dairy, sugar free, the people that I attracted turned out mostly to have autoimmune disorders, and they have to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, and that's what this is. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I am a foodie, a chef, and a life coach, and all of a sudden, this whole community grew. People looking for other people like them or answers or food that they could eat that tasted familiar but that was healthy and gluten, dairy, sugar free. So one of the things we've been doing is I have foodie testers, and we trick husbands, because mostly the wives that do this to get healthy. And so
Hmm.
we make meals that they would never guess are actually healthy.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little later here. But before that, so you said that you went to Mexico, right? And you also work with some other
Excuse me.
health experts here. What are some of the things that you can share here with us that you didn't know back in the days when your health was not the same as it is right now? Like, so some of the things that you're looking back and I was like, wow, I had no idea about this, but I learned this from these people, and that actually had a difference in your health.
Okay, so I ate whatever I wanted. I had no idea how powerful food is. Food actually heals. So the first thing that I learned about was pineapple, and it has something called bromelain in it, which
Yeah.
actually helps with pain. And I'm like, dude, pina coladas, all right. They're like, no, 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 no. It's not like that. And the next thing I learned about was like turmeric. Well, I use turmeric all the time in my cooking, but I had no idea that turmeric is anti-inflammatory. So all of a sudden, I got so curious. Now, I grew up in Mexico, so I eat a lot of cilantro, and I love cilantro. Cilantro is one of the top like foods to use, and my favorite salad is chopped cilantro with lime. Turns out, it turns out sort of I was eating things that were good for me, but not in enough quantity or doing it the right way. So learning that herbs and food actually heal. I just taught a class on food that actually hydrates your body. So I'm still learning. I get really excited about it because I love food, but it's so powerful. The other thing
Mhm.
I learned was I didn't know how bad I felt until I started feeling better.
Wow. Yes.
So
Before you get, I know this is so powerful. What you I know what you're gonna say here is gonna make a huge difference for people who are listening to this and watching right now here. But before that, Michelle, what about, I hear a lot of people. I like to say this. You gotta put your time, your energy, and your money on the things that you value here. Otherwise, there is no change. It's going to be happening. And food prep, it can be a little bit boring sometimes, but it's very necessary. And if you don't want to do your cooking, you can actually, there is a lot of websites nowadays that do that for you. But it's important to know where your food's gonna come from. So if you are eating outside all the time, you gotta know what are the restaurants that you're going to be eating, right? If you are cooking yourself, cool, where I'm going to actually buy these foods. And if you don't have time for anything at all, you can always order these amazing meals that they deliver to you. So it's all about preparation. I truly believe into that. So what about people, Michelle, who say that no, eating it could be boring. What's the strategy here? We touched a little bit about that on the beginning of the conversation. What are the strategies that you use with your group of people who you work with, your friends, and in terms of getting out of this boredom here?
the first time someone is introduced to me and they find out that I teach gluten, dairy, sugar free, I get the same facial reaction. Well, what's left to eat? There's nothing left to
Yeah,
eat. So one of the things is I do a lot of international recipes all around the world. So I add a lot of variety, a lot of flavors. I have found that you are more satisfied the more flavor there is. Now you're from Brazil, right? Yeah. And so
right.
I grew up in Mexico, and so we grew up with salsas and flavors and things like that, very, very bold. Most of my clients are either in Australia, the UK, or the United States or Canada. Those are my four big areas, and their
Hmm.
diets are a lot milder. So introducing my clients into the power of seasonings is the first thing that I do. I teach how you can take one dish, and I teach a class called Flavor Profiles, and you have the same dish, but you can decide where you want to go. Do you want to go to Greece? Do you want to go to Italy? Do you want to go to
Hmm.
Mexico? Do you want to go to Thailand? And then here are the top seasonings and flavors and herbs to take that dish there. So if you use fresh herbs and quality seasonings, now be careful with your seasonings. If you're gluten free, most of them are not gluten free because I use wheat flour to dry them.
Yep.
But using seasonings and fresh herbs. Now I know fresh herbs are a little bit expensive, but if you treat them like flowers, in a glass, trim the ends, put them in water, cover with a little plastic. They'll last a couple weeks. Having fresh herbs and seasonings and takes your dishes to different places. There's all of a sudden a huge variety. You could have the same meal, 5 times in the week, but different flavor profiles, it'd be completely different. So variety through flavor.
Yes. Oh my God. Like you touch so many points here that I talk about all the time. It's for my own meals when I'm cooking. It's always different. It's never the same really because I don't follow a recipe. So I'm always creating the recipe right there. And I'm always using different foods with different spices. So if you're thinking here, guys, that eating healthy is going to be boring, it's not. Actually, it's going to be delicious. And the trick part, it's number one, the thing that Michelle just said here, using spices and herbs. It's really going to be one of the secrets here to make it taste good. And number two, Michelle, also what I found is using healthy fats because that's also is going to be giving the food a nice taste because fats taste good, right? What are some of your favorite fats here? Because we are talking specifically today about gluten, dairy, and sugar, but the fats conversation cannot be left alone.
Well, okay, so in my 6 cookbooks about to come out, I'm very excited about that. In 2 years, I've written, 6 cookbooks. People don't know how to use seasonings. First of all, they they have them in their cupboards. They have no idea how to use them, so I teach that. But in my cookbooks, I cook with coconut oil. But I have to be honest, I've started cooking with avocado oil also because it can go to a high temperature. It's a healthy fat. I like to put things like avocado in my dishes. It's a very healthy fat. I make cashew cream often with cashews. Here's a quick meal is I make cashew cream that's blended up soaked cashews, little lemon, water, salt. It's a magic ingredient. When it heats up, it actually thickens. So you can put like a cup of chicken stock and 2 tablespoons of cashew cream, some Dijon mustard, some black pepper, and it turns into a Dijon cream sauce. And that's a healthy, healthy fat. And yet you're thinking you're eating like something you're not supposed to be eating. So someone asked me, hey, Michelle, your recipes don't have all the nutritional qualities on it on your website. You've got, 400 or 500 recipes on there. And I said, that's right, because when I first started gluten, dairy, sugar-free, I used to put that on there, but they'd be high in fat because I use coconut milk and things like that. And I get these hate letters saying, that's not healthy. It's all full of fat. So I took that off because people are uneducated about fats. And there are good fats. I don't eat a lot of pork, but a little bit of bacon now and then with your Brussels sprouts. I mean, avocado is a great fat. I eat raw almonds as snacks. So people are afraid of fats. But the thing is, if you don't give your body those lubricants and that to keep your metabolism going, well,
Yeah, I did many. Yeah, I did many interviews related to the topic of fat. It's a big one. I still love it. And I believe that really this is going to be the future here in terms of the mass media. We are into this, right? We are working every day. So we actually know already about this, but the mass media doesn't know about the difference between the types of fats. And they can be as harmful as sugar. Like it's even more harmful. I don't want to even get into this conversation. It's a lot to talk. But
we can spend
Michelle,
an hour on just fats.
Yes. So we have a comment here. Gwen Bithard. I'm not pronouncing her last name maybe correctly. Michelle is an excellent teacher. She has helped me a lot. All right. Thank you, Gwen, for being here.
She's amazing.
Awesome.
She joined me in the spring and was brand new to this. And she has taken every one of my classes, does all the homework, posts every day, and has totally changed the health of her and her entire family over the last 6 months. Yes. It's been mind-blowing.
Fantastic. I love people who take action and apply this stuff in their lives. It's unbelievable. Are those the books behind you? Those are your own books? Just curiosity here. I see.
They're my books. So all of my books. So I wrote a handbook on how to live gluten, dairy, sugar free, including my 2-hour prep. And I put in 33 recipes, and I published that 2 years ago. And it became a bestseller in 4 countries in under 48 hours. And I went, holy cow, I'm on to something. And then I got this horrible review on Amazon. It said, what kind of cookbook is this? It talks about like chopping vegetables. I'm like, you idiot, it's a guidebook. So I wrote the big book of recipes. And then my community started growing. I started teaching classes, and they're like, hey, we need chicken recipes. So I did a poultry book. And then they said, oh, we need slow cooker recipes because everything has cans of soup and processed food. And I went, I am not writing that. But I did. It was the biggest challenge, was writing a slow cooker cookbook to cook healthy food without all the processed stuff because it's cooked over a long period of time and you need flavor. So lots of research did that. And then one of my students said, look, I understand that you like a lot of seasonings and flavors and all that, but every time I look at your recipes, I scream because it looks this long. And I said, yeah, but those are just 6 seasonings. And she's like, yeah, I need 5 ingredients or less. So a couple months ago, I wrote the 5-ingredient cookbook. And then my new
different book.
Yeah, and it's
so people actually give you the tips, give you the recommendation, and you go ahead and create a whole book about that. That's crazy.
Exactly. So
you're crazy, Michelle.
I'm nuts. So now the request is they want a cookbook with sauces, condiments, and things like that, like for ketchup and mayonnaise and sauces. So I'm working on that. But the next cookbook coming out, I co-authored with a chef, Bill Torado, and it's got all kinds of international recipes. And we're going to start a contest later today on naming the book because I've got no idea what to call it. But yeah, my community request says, hey, I need this. And I'm like, okay. So the 5-ingredient cookbook, I have to tell you, oil, salt, and pepper are free ingredients. Okay? Because there's no way I can do a recipe with those and just two items. It doesn't work. So that's the rule of that.
Fantastic.
But, yeah, ask me.
That's fantastic.
I want to make
prolific life.
Well, it's like,
that's the prolific life right here, guys. Yes, no, that's fantastic. So what about Michelle here? So people who say, oh, living healthy is too expensive. What do you have to tell them?
Okay, well, sure, it can be. If you're going to buy a lot of processed gluten healthy food and those fancy salads and the little boxes of crackers that are 4 ounces, whereas regular crackers are 12 ounces, and you're paying $8 and they're paying $3. Yep, it can be expensive. Now, if you make most of your food, then it's not that expensive. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more if you're going to eat organic chicken and grass-fed beef, which I recommend. I teach my GMO class and safe seafood and poultry class. And once I started learning about that, as for organic, it's going to be a little more expensive because of the way that it's done, but it's better for your body. Now, my budget doesn't allow everything to be organic, so I have to choose which is organic and which is not, but I don't settle on the meats. So they are always organic and grass-fed. So
there we go. This is my type of girl right here.
So you have to choose. Now, my spinach and my greens are going to be organic. I love them. My taste buds changed, and for some reason, I now love green leafy vegetables that I didn't before. So as you go through the change, and it's expensive, but if you're buying the stuff, if you're buying the pre-made fancy stuff, it's going to be more expensive. If you take the time to do at least 75% of the cooking on your own and the 25 out, it'll be cheaper. It'll taste better. Mm-hmm. And you'll know what ingredients are in it.
Guys, if you're concerned about the price here, what Michelle just mentioned here, these tips, it's so worth it. Just do it, and you're gonna actually see you're gonna be saving much more money. Not to mention everything that Michelle said here on the beginning about the transformation that your life is gonna take. That's priceless. Imagine not having to spend money with medication, with doctors. All of those things, those are serious stuff. We tend to think that this is not going to happen to me, but it does. It does happen. So, Michelle, Angela Galvin is actually asking here in the comments, how long have you been gluten-free, and are you totally gluten-free? I think we covered a little bit about this in the beginning.
Yeah, I've been gluten-free for about 3 years, and yes, I'm totally gluten-free. In the beginning, the first 3 months, I was not completely because I cheated. I've taught myself since I lived in San Francisco that sourdough bread was okay because it had that mother, to create it. So I convinced myself that I could eat that sourdough baguette for about 3 months until I realized I was lying to myself because everything's made up anyway. And as a person, we make meaning out of everything. So I decided that it was fine to do that. As soon as I gave up that sourdough bread, my body started feeling so much better that the mind fog went away, the sluggy feeling. Now, if I get glutenized, that's, if there's gluten in my food accidentally, my stomach grows. And you can actually watch it grow. And I look like I'm 9 months pregnant. So my neighbor is 87, and she doesn't understand why I eat this way. And it makes her confused. And so finally I said, I'm going to show you.
You're going to show the pregnancy here.
This much of bread, and I ate it, and I sat in the chair next to her. I said, watch what happens. And she watched as my stomach grew. And then she said, "Are you going to die? Do we need to go to the doctor?" I said, "No, now I'm going to feel like crap for 3 days because it made my stomach do that. Now I look like I'm pregnant. It hurts, and I'm going to be foggy." And she goes, "I didn't mean to hurt you," but you can physically see it. So I'm like, "Here,
It's
watch."
worth it. At least now you don't bother me anymore. Now you know exactly why I do this, so you can never ask me these questions again. That's why I do this, right?
Because it's constant. So I actually took over her cooking because her food budget was what she couldn't afford food by the end of the month because she was buying all frozen meals and ready-made food. So now I cook her main meal and her light dinner. We do the main meal in the middle of the day. It's healthier, and then she does her own breakfast. And I gave up. She's 87. She can keep her sugar, but the meals I'm cooking her are healthy. She has more energy. She feels better. And yesterday, she told me she wanted to give up dairy and start using almond milk in her cereal. I'm like, okay. So who knows? But yeah, the thing is, how important are you? So when I teach my students about food prep, I ask them to put it on their calendar and make that appointment with yourself as important as any other appointment, as one is for your boss or your doctor or whatever. That appointment's for you. So you have to put food prep in there. You have to put self-care in your calendar. And I teach my private coaching clients this. You can't move that appointment unless it's a family emergency. Your friends want to take you to a party and you have scheduled that you're going to meditate or work out for it. You can tell them you'll be there at 5. You cannot change that because that's a commitment to yourself. The other thing I do with my clients is I have a support groups where you have to tattle on yourself, because if you keep it a secret that you're not taking care of yourself and not doing the appointments, you're going to go back down that road. So come in the group and say, "I screwed up," and then we give what's called a clean slate, because if you have regrets pulling you back, you're not going to want to take care of yourself. You're going to give up and feel like a failure. And that's just all made up chatter in your head. Being healthy takes a little bit of work. It's a new muscle, but once you start with that muscle and it grows stronger and stronger, it's easier. Yes, in the beginning, you're going to slide. Yes, in the beginning, you're going to be tempted. Yes, in the beginning, you'll eat that ice cream. But forgive yourself, move on, start over, new day, you're healthy today. Then you start over to the next day. You're healthy today, you're healthy today. And that's all I'm doing. And every day I'm getting healthier. And I get attacked on Facebook. "You don't look like a health coach. You look fat and unhealthy." And I said, "Thank you for noticing. I am fat, but I'm much skinnier than I was." And I show the picture of the before and after in a bathing suit.
Then they don't tell you anything else.
And I'm like,
they don't.
Yeah. And one person said, "How dare you try to coach people?" And I said, "Because I can relate to them. I'm not, I haven't been totally skinny and athletic my whole life. I've been heavy and I'm losing weight. So I get the struggle. I get the temptations." So
yes, absolutely. No, that's so true. That's so true. Your mindset here, guys, is as you see here, we set up this talk to talk about gluten, about dairy and sugar, but we always go back to the mindset. That's the most important thing here. If you want to succeed at this journey, it's really, it's mandatory. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. So what about the replacements here for sugar, for dairy, and for gluten? What's some of your favorite ones here that comes to your mind?
Okay, so for sugar, green leaf stevia, not stevia, but green leaf stevia, pure maple syrup, raw organic honey, and sometimes in my Thai food, I will use coconut sugar because it still has its nutrients in it, but that's rare. But those are the ones that are my replacements. Yeah, for dairy,
Go ahead, sorry.
For dairy, I use nuts. So I make cheeses out of nuts, sauces out of nuts, things like that. My cashews are my go-to dairy piece. Like, I love sour cream, and so I can make it using cashews. For gluten, I changed the way that I eat. I'm not a baker. I never have been. Please don't ask me to make lots of dessert recipes for you. Not going to happen. I've never really done that. I do have a great avocado mousse, though, and a sweet potato mousse. But I changed the way I eat. And so, like, if you need to thicken a sauce, I'll use tapioca starch instead of flour. But I don't bake. So does that answer the question?
Yes. No, that's fantastic. Vanessa is saying here, I love this about developing the healthy muscle. Yes, this is so important.
It's a
yes,
muscle.
no, definitely.
Can I show you a trick? Are you game?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
So take your hands and you clasp them. And go ahead, whoever's watching, and one thumb's going to be on top. What thumb is on top? What thumb's on top? My right thumb.
The right?
My right too. Okay, now switch it. Switch your fingers over into the other holes. There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do with the mic.
Yeah, it's hard to do with the mic. Okay, it feels really weird. What happened is when you were a baby in your mother's stomach, you did this once, twice, 3 times, and you created what's called a neural pathway in the brain. And basically, it's a habit. And if you started doing it the opposite way every day, you're going to create a new neural brain. So what that is a new muscle. So every time you keep to your healthy habits and you do it again and again, and I tell people start with one thing. Do one thing, make it a habit. My first one was drink water. I had to learn to hydrate. Then the next one, and then the next one. As soon as it becomes a habit, then you try something new, and you add that in, and that's how your muscle gets stronger.
I think that actually answers me here my next question for you, which is like, okay, so I'm listening to you, Bruno, and to Michelle talking about all of that. So I know I have to do something in my life. I know I have to take action, right? How do we start this journey here for people who are ready and want to take action? How do you recommend that?
Okay, so here's the thing. Doing it alone, it's not going to work. It'll work a little bit. You need support. Bruno sees clients. I have support groups, classes, and clients. I have groups. We do better being accountable to others because sometimes we'll lie to ourselves. I didn't stop to Taco Bell. That never happened. But if I have to be accountable to a group, I went through Taco Bell and I had Taco Bell and I feel really bad. Okay. And then we can talk about what the emotional triggers and things are and work it out and help you with that muscle. Find support, someone to help you, someone you can relate to help you in it. I'm not saying, go have someone do your menu planning for you. I'm talking about mind, body, spirit support around the food. Because it's not just putting the food in your mouth, it's why you're eating, what your habits are, where you're letting yourself down, what muscles we can strengthen for you as coaches. And so if you're ready to start this, then talk to one of us.
Great. I love this. Yes, this is so true. We try to do this on our own, but if you haven't had success with that, ask for help, guys. It's fine. It's not your fault. This is just how it is. Some people they just have a natural skill about making money, for example, or they are just very good with relationship with people, but they suck in other areas of their life. So what these people should do? They should ask for help from people who have that into their own life. So I totally agree with this. Getting a support team around you is very important for you to succeed and create those habits. Anything else here besides, Michelle, gluten and sugar and dairy, do you think it's also important to focus? I mean, we talk a lot about the mindset here that you're going to have to develop, but besides that, what do you think it is important as well?
Continuing education. Every day I set aside an hour to learn something new because I also build my own websites and things like that. So I'm always doing continuing education, self-improvement. I had a friend tell me something 15 years ago that I now say, and he said, Michelle, if you don't continue your personal development, at some point our friendship will end because it doesn't mean I'm better than you. It means I'm continuing to grow as a human being and you're stuck and I can't do that. So I say that too. You need to continue your personal development. You need to continue to grow. The other thing is you also need to look at the people you surround yourself with. You may have outgrown your friends and it happens and you have to do a friend clean out and change it. Always, always hang out with someone who's doing it better than you, that knows how to do it so that you can be in that environment. Always have a mentor and someone to be accountable to. So I have mentors also, and I'm always learning. I've got doctors on my team that answer all my medical questions because I'm not a nutritionist. And I also have people that I'm accountable to in my accountability group. And that's why I run support groups, because together it's easier and it's a lot more fun. It really is.
Yeah. This is fantastic. I love your friend who told you this. This is really this kind of friends that we are missing nowadays. It's not the one who is going to be telling you what you want to hear, but it's the one who is going to be brutally honest with you. That's actually is going to be telling you the truth, and whatever it is, if it doesn't feel good at that moment, but it's for the higher purpose. she or he is amazing person. I
He
love
and
that
him, and
stuff.
we're just still
Any,
friends because we're both doing our work. It's continuing to take care of yourself. Stop putting yourself second. Selfish is not a bad word. I expect and demand that my clients and my people in my groups and my community, that they take care of themselves first, because then they can be of service to others. But you cannot be of service to others if you're not taking care of yourself. So if you're not eating right and it's making you sick, then you can't go help somebody else, or you can't actually go achieve that goal that you want. Or maybe you were looking for a raise at work, but if you're not taking care of your mind, body, spirit, you're not going to get that raise at work, because you've got to take care of you first. And it's not selfish to do that. It's not selfish to say no. It's not selfish to say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. I don't want to eat that.
truth bombs here, guys. Yes. Now, yeah, that's so cool. Anything else here, Michelle? I mean, you share a lot of things with us today. Thank you so much. Anything else that you'd like to share here with us before you tell everybody where we can find you and all of that great stuff too?
I know I get excited. I get excited about it. But the thing is, life is exciting. As far as I know, I get to live once. But if the reincarnation people are right, then damn, next time's going to be awesome, because I'm just starting to get it. I'm 49. I'm just starting to get it. I feel like every day, like, wait. I've got to learn more. Take care of yourself, mind, body, spirit. And the thing is I have people say, well, my family doesn't understand why I eat this way, or my friends make fun of me when we go out and I order differently. Plan ahead, look at the menu, plan ahead. And then when they say something, say, thank you for noticing, I'm taking care of myself. And they said, oh my God, I said that. And they didn't know what to say. I said, exactly. So take care of yourself. You have one body and it carries around your soul. I don't care what your spirituality is or what your religion is, but if you believe in souls, this body somehow houses it. And I wish I had known what I know now in my 20s, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And that scares me, because that means I don't know what I don't know that's ahead of me. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah. Very, very wise words here, Michelle. Thank you so much. So where can people find you? What's your website? So how can people talk to you? Just share here all of that good stuff.
Well, you can always find me on Facebook. I answer an instant message. That's where I do most of my connecting. And my website is gluten, sugar, dairy free, but we make it very simple. If you do gsdfree.com, you go there. If you're new to this, hit the Start Here button, and you'll download a mini guidebook. You'll get 7 days of emails and free books that will help you into this. There's all kinds of programs, classes, support groups, video classes, memberships you can belong to. I built a plethora of stuff, and people said, how do you have time to do this? Because this is all I do. This is all I do, and I'm passionate about it, and I'm passionate about helping people. Doesn't matter what age you are. Our oldest member is 97, and our youngest member is 17.
Wow.
So
Fantastic. Michelle, thank you so much. You are amazing. You are an inspiration for everybody here. Like, I can't stress enough how long have you come together here throughout your journey. It's unbelievable, and congratulations for all the work that you do, helping a lot of people. I super appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and for those of you that joined us late, this is the first time Bruno and I've done a live interview on Facebook. So I am so honored to be your first. That sounds so weird. First interviewee. I respect your work and what you do. I have to be honest, I was really nervous. I'm like, is it going to work? How does it work? And what do I do? And he's like, just do it. And so thank you for having me. And anybody out there listening, look, it's your life. It's your choice. You get to choose. I'm not going to tell you have to live the way I do or the way Bruno does. We choose how we live. But what we do choose is we choose ourselves. And I want you to do that for you. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, you can go to BrazilianHealthNut.com to get the show notes and all of that good stuff as well. And remember, take action so that you can burn fat forever. Transform your body to live your dreams. I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Biggie.